Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honourable colleague from Calgary, Shepherd, whom I like a great deal, wasn't here in the 41st Parliament, so he doesn't recognise the fragility of the glass house in which he now stands. Claiming that this bill has been forced through. I remember C-51, Mr. Speaker. I remember January 30th, 2015, on a Friday morning. It was tabled for first reading, and I took it home on the weekend. I came back here February 2nd knowing that I'd never seen anything quite as draconian introduced to the Canadian Parliament. We opposed it. We worked hard on it, at least. I was the first member of Parliament to declare that it was a threat, not just to our liberties, it made us less safe, because it entrenched the worst aspects of separation of law, of spy agencies and law enforcement. It's a dangerous piece of legislation, C-51, but it was forced through. There was no public consultation, and introduced for first reading January 30th, it was through this place by May 6th, through the Senate by June 9th. This piece of legislation has been before us a full year. So I'm afraid that my honourable colleague is shooting at the wrong target when he thinks that this bill has been forced through. It's not as good as I would like it to be. The member is right. It doesn't do away with all the things that were problematic in C-51. But I'll be voting for C-59 because it does a lot to redress the threats to our security from C-51 that ignored all the recommendations from the Air India inquiry, ignored all the recommendations of the Maher-Arar inquiry, and represented the worst entrenchment of the kinds of siloed agency thinking that, in the words of former Justice John Major, who chaired the Air India inquiry, make us less safe.
The honourable member for Calgary Shepherd.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I thank the member for her question and commentary as well. Obviously, I'll disagree with her, and I'll say that I believe this piece of legislation keeps those silos. That's the problem. The former director of CSIS made that point, that this keeps many of those silos, restructures them, and yeah, it doesn't achieve those security goals. So I differ with the member on the contents of the bill and the goals that it'll achieve. So that's what I'll be voting against the bill, because it doesn't keep us safer. The previous version of the bill, although not perfect, reached that goal far better than C-59 will.